What's up, guys? Steve here with the Alpha Flow Trader team. It's Sunday evening, Globex Open. Couple hours after Globex Open. I don't do much trading on Sundays, if any, and so I figured this would be a good time for me to just make a quick video and go over some of the features that KLP AI has. So I'm gonna open up the settings, but first I'm gonna show you all that you see on this chart. Everything on this chart is from one indicator, and that's KLP Pro AI. I've been working on this thing for over a year. Me and my business partner Tim. Yeah, we've been at it for over a year now, and we've finally got it dialed in and to a point to where we've been using it successfully for the past few months. Well, pretty much since the beginning of the year, and now we're just at a point to where we're ready to release it to the public. But yeah, with that said, let's go over to this TradingView chart and let me just explain everything you see here on the chart. So first of all, you have your session volume profile. I have 4 built-in sessions that automatically draw on the chart when they start. Starting with right now, session is Asia session. So this is the volume profile for Asia, and it's building itself out right now. We're 2 hours in. And some of the characteristics of this volume profile is like pretty much any other volume profile. You have your value area low, which are these red dotted lines. You have your value area high. The light blue shaded areas are your high volume nodes. So you have a high volume node here, you have a high volume node there. The yellow dashed lines and all these colors, all these features are all customizable. You pick any color you want. These are just the colors that I choose and your default colors. But yeah, your yellow dashed line is your point of control, and your pink shaded areas are your low volume nodes. All right. So you also see some other dashed lines. Whenever you see these dashed lines, those are all your point of controls. This just happens to be your point of control from the previous New York session. So this label here says NYPOC. So that's your New York point of control from last Friday session. And below that is LDNPOC, which is London's point of control. So that was the last London session point of control. I like to see them on the map where these point of controls were for the previous session. These are your what's known as liquidity ladders. So always good to know what happened during the last session. And this was Asia's point of control. The last session, Asia's point of control, up here in purple. And you also have your pivots, your support and resistance pivots. We refer to them as, we use Camarilla for our pivot calculations. So these are your Camarilla lines, and you have your R3s, your R4s, and your R5s as you go up. And below here are your supports, your support pivots, S3, S4, and as you go lower, S5s. All right, and we have our labels here. Probably hard to see, but this label is your value migration area, basically pointing up. So it's stating that the value migration from the previous sessions, its value is slowly making its way up. All right. What else do we have here? Oh yes, this yellow line was VWAP. New York's the session before Asia was New York, so you still see New York's old volume weighted average on the chart. And Asia, this session, which is going on now, is their VWAP is purple, and that's this purple line here, which price is trading under right now. You also have your central pivot. So that's normally between your S3s and your support and your resistance. Between that is normally your central pivot. All right. What else do we have here on the chart? And then you have our signal engine. we have the last signal for NQ that the indicator gave to us was during Friday session at around 2:15 Eastern Standard Time was the last signal we got. Our signal engine does grade each signal or rates each signal with either a poor, weak, good, or strong rating. This last signal was a weak rating, although it did pretty good. This was this called a reversal short at 29,396, and yeah, worked out pretty well. Since that signal candle, price took a pretty large dump, and it did hit two TPs here, TP1 and TP2. So pretty good weak signal if you guys caught that one on Friday. And now you have another shaded area up here, which is hard to see with the current signal label blocking it. But up here, outside of your volume profile, these shaded areas would be your supply zones. In this case, pink or red symbolizes a supply zone, and we do have demand zones automatically drawn as well, although I don't know if NQ has one detected yet on this chart. If I keep scrolling down, will I see a demand zone? No, I don't. All right, so only a supply zone is drawn right now. Now you do see these lines as well. These are other key levels that I have built into the program. I believe this light blue line should be prior months or prior weeks high. Let's scroll to the left and see if we can see the eventual label on this one. Yeah, that's prior. This blue line is prior weeks low, and the pink magenta line is prior months high. So those are always good levels to know where they're situated at. And we also have some other levels that I have on here. London highs, these labels right here, London lows, London highs, pre-market lows, pre-market highs, Asia high, Asia low. And there goes a much better shot of that supply zone, which is right at all-time highs, which is another level that's drawn out for you guys that I have auto detected, as well as prior day high and prior day low. So I think that covers most of everything that you would possibly see on the chart. A lot of this stuff, if you're not a big fan of the clutter on the chart, a lot of this stuff can be turned off in your settings, which I'm about to pull up now and go over. All right, so when you first come into your settings panel, first thing you'll see here are your VWAP session windows. And if you want to see the New York session drawn on the chart automatically when it starts, my New York session starts from 9:30 to 1600 Eastern Standard Time. So when 9:30 comes around tomorrow morning, our session volume profile will start drawing itself along with our VWAP line. So this is where you set the times for those. So for your New York VWAP, if you're on Eastern Standard Time, this is already set for you. For your London VWAP and session volume profile, this controls both of those times when they actually start drawing on the chart. London for me starts at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Asia, I have it set to 1600 Eastern Standard Time. There is a custom slot here for a custom session. If you have a particular time range that you want to see drawn on the chart from say if you just want to see volume profile and VWAP from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. and you can use this custom profile, and it'll start drawing it at those times. I like to use a custom profile when I'm looking at oil, your energy futures. Those normally start oil futures, energy futures start at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for me. And so if I wanted to look at the session value profile for oil, then I'd check this and set my time from 9 until 2 p.m. Eastern. Or gold. Gold starts around 8. The gold markets, metals market starts at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if I was on the gold futures, then I would set my time from 8:30 until whenever, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's the first thing you do, is set up your times for your London, for your VWAPs and your session profiles. And then when you come down here, these are some more settings, particularly the settings for your session volume profile. A lot of this stuff, these are default settings right out the box. And this is how I trade. These are my particular settings. And these are what I trade with on a daily basis. I do not change anything. The only time I change any of these settings is when I'm trading oil or gold. But I'm normally trading the indexes, ES, NQ, Russell, and Dow. And so all this are optimized for the indexes. And they also have tooltips. If you just hover over the tooltips of each setting, it'll go in depth on how to set them and what their settings are for. All right. This is what I talked about, your POC lines, your value area high lines, your value area low lines. You can check them or uncheck them if you don't want to see them on the chart. I like to have them on the chart, so I know I use those as my targets for normally TP targets or stop out targets. So I like to see those where they're situated on the chart when I'm trading. These are various colors. Like I said, highly customizable. All these labels on the chart, all the colors are customizable. Scroll down a little bit more. This is your features on the chart. Like, once again, if you don't want to see high volume nodes highlighted on the chart, you can uncheck them right here. High volume nodes, your low volume zones. If you don't want to see those on the chart, you can uncheck them here. Your value migration labels, all these labels over here. If you don't want to see them on the chart, this is the section where you would come to disable all that stuff. Scroll down some more. This is your liquidity ladder labels as well. So show liquidity ladder, that would be these labels here. If you don't want to see those on the chart, then you just uncheck that. Or if you just want to see New York's liquidity, New York's prior POC, or London's or Asia's prior POCs, then you can pick and choose which ones you want to see, which ones you don't want to see. And once again, you can adjust the colors of each of those. And then as we scroll down a little bit more, these are your levels, your session levels, your London session highs, your London session lows. If you want to be able to know where that is on the chart, then you keep these checked. I like to know where London high is, or where London lows is, my Asia's, my prior days. I want to know where all that stuff is. Prior week, prior month, pre-market, and all-time highs. For me, those are the levels I look for on a day-to-day basis, just to see where price is in conjunction to where these levels are. Then as we scroll down some more, here are your Camarilla levels. I like to see all the Camarilla levels from the 3s to the 6s. So I have it to where Camarilla goes from R3s, R4s, 5s, and the last level is 6. And I want to know where all those levels are on my chart, because that is a big part of my trading strategy. every single day. I trade around where price is when it comes to these Camarilla levels. All right. Next feature is your signals. Enable the KLP AI Signal Engine. That's this guy right here. So this guy is built, his signals, the signals as well, is built around my strategy, what I look for, which is the Camarilla pivots. So you'll notice most of these signals, because there is another criteria for signals that it gives out, but the main one is the Camarilla pivot. So when price comes to these Camarilla pivots, our signal engine will either look for reversals or continuations at these areas. And so if you want to see those signals, then you leave that checked. And color candle by state. That would be color candle by state are our price action engine. If you notice on the chart, we have not your typical green and red candles. We have teal and gold candles. And teal symbolizes that we are in an uptrend. And gold symbolizes that we are in a downtrend. So unlike your traditional green for bullish candle, red for bearish candle, our price action engine keeps the candle one color as long as it detects that you are in an uptrend. So, you know, on your traditional chart, there can definitely be red candles in an uptrend, but you won't see that when our price action engine is enabled. Or if we're in an uptrend, all you're going to see is teal colors, and if we're in a downtrend, all you're going to see is gold colors. And that's actually one of our alerts going off right now for gold. That's another thing, another feature we have is we will get alerted when these signals present themselves on the chart. The indicator will fire an alert and let you know. So on my other chart, on my gold chart, if I shoot over to that one now, or it might, that trade might have been ending already. Let's see what happened. All right, so this is our gold chart. And okay, so yeah, so this was a weak signal that got stopped out. So full transparency here. We don't always win. You know, the last signal that we had on NQ was a weak signal, but this was a winner. And the other weak signal that we have, which is right here on gold, is a loser. And so that's why they're rated for a reason. So I would still take 50-50 from what I saw, 50-50, and our stops. Normally with our signals, our TP1s are 1-to-1, and our stop is a full 1R. So we always get stopped out at 1R, and our end goal is 2R. So if you were to take both signals, one hit 2R, and this one got stopped out for 1R. So 50-50, you're still up technically. But yeah, this was a signal, just let you know this trade was over and it got stopped out. All right, so let's go back to our NQ chart. What was that? Oh, I was going over the price action. Yeah, so that's how price action engine works. It just keeps the candle colors one color when you're in an uptrend and one color when you're in a downtrend. We also like to call it our market shift engine. So when the market is shifting from, or when it detects it's shifting from bearish to bullish, the colors will shift as well. So like in this little example here, we're in a bearish trend. We had some chop here and it thought it was shifting bullish, and the market continued downward, and so it shifted back to a bearish trend. All right, and let me open up settings again and continue on. So that was our price action engine. And after our price action engine, the next important feature, I have this one disabled, but this is our bias engine. So this is called the Ichimoku cloud, and it renders a cloud on the chart. And depending on the color of the cloud is your bias for the current trend that's going on the chart. So it's still loading. I just checked it so it can load on the chart. Let me close this setting so when it finally does load, and there it is. So this green cloud right here symbolizes, at least in this particular area where prices is at right now, price was currently in a bullish trend, and then price eventually shifted to a bearish trend, and now our cloud is red. Now the Ichimoku cloud, if you see here, the cloud extends past where our current bar is. So not only does it tell you the current trend is bearish, but it also forecasts up to the next 26 bars of the particular time frame that you're on. Right now, this is a 5-minute chart. So it is forecasting for the next 26 5-minute bars. It is forecasting a bearish cloud. So I do use the cloud. I use the cloud as one of my confluences for when I am thinking about getting into a trade or out of a trade. So, and our signal engine also uses the cloud as well as a confluence. So here's another thing, another cool feature about our signal engine and these labels. So if you hover over the label, it'll tell you the confluences of all the confluences that were factored in to why or what made this a weak signal versus a good or a strong signal. And so for this particular signal right here, some of the positive contributors were what is this? This is a short. So it came up, broke London high, and it closed back below London high, which would symbolize a sweep. At the time of this signal, price was trading above value area high, so it was trading at an extreme. Normally when prices, if you like to play the rotations or the range, if you're a range trader, then you know with session volume profiles, you're normally looking for longs when price is trading around value area low, and you're looking for shorts when price is trading around value area high. And so, yeah, well, that was one of the confluences. Also, we'll subtract points for being on the wrong side of VWAP. So we were above VWAP when it signaled this short. Normally, you want to be below VWAP when you're taking short trades, and you want to be above VWAP when you're taking long trades. So yeah, this signal engine will, if you just hover over it, it'll spit out all the confluences of and all the contributors that factored into this this rating of weak. All right. Let's see what else we have left. And yeah, so even though I have the Ichimoku cloud turned off in the background, it's still being factored in even here. If I hover over this label, let's see. So full green. So yeah, it took away a point as well because it called a short when the Ichimoku cloud was fully green. It was fully bullish. So we were still very much in a bullish trend when it called it short. So it took off some points for that as well. So even if I did not have the cloud rendered on the chart, it still detects it in the background and factors it in the background. All right. I just don't, I like to trade with a clean chart. I already know I have a lot going on this chart. And so I just try to have not so much colors on here. But you know, somebody will find it useful just to visualize it, and so it's there. It's there if you want to see it. And then here goes some more settings if you want to be able to see your reversal signals or continuation signals, or if you're just a continuation trader, you want to trade with the trends. If that's your thing, then our signal engine will just show you continuation trades. If you're a reversal trader, if you're looking for reversals, that's kind of that's more of my style. I'm a reversal trader. Then I want to pay attention to the reversal signals that my indicator spits out. All right. These two settings here are for our stops, where it's how the indicator factors in your stops whenever it spits out a signal. Every time it spits out a signal, it's going to give you 2 profit targets, and it's going to give you a suggested stop target. So that's normally if I didn't have this indicate, if I didn't have to rely on these signals, these are normally how I factor in my stop losses. Is whenever I get into a trade, I always put my stop at the extreme, at the other end of the extreme of my entry candle. And if that candle is less than 1 ATR, then at bare minimum, my stop is at least 1 ATR length away. So yeah, your stop is either going to be at your candle extreme plus a couple of ticks buffer, or at least 1 ATR away. I like tight stops, small losses. Next setting down is you can choose as well. Another thing that I like to do is whatever price crosses TP1, if my ultimate target is TP2, then I have the indicator alert me when price crosses TP1 to move my stop to break even, as this one did too. This stop labeled, if you see here, it says BE, which means while this trade was going on, I'm pretty sure it sent an alert here that would probably pop up here in this corner and let me know it's time to move my stop to break even. You can uncheck that feature if you don't move your stop at all when you hit TP1, and you just wait till you get to your final target or just stop out. Then you would uncheck this if you don't want any alerts for moving your stop to break even. Another cool feature that I have here is, for me, just quick calculations, risk calculations. I used to try to do this stuff quickly in my head when an opportunity presented itself for me to enter a trade, for me to factor in how many contracts I need to enter this trade. The indicator does it for you. If my normal risk per trade, which for me, when I'm trading, I trade primarily on my live funded account, and my normal trade, my normal risk per trade is 250 on my live funded accounts. On my evals, whenever I'm trying to pass evals, I'll raise those up to 500. I'm a little bit definitely more aggressive on evals when I'm trying to pass them. But for my live funded accounts, my risk per trade is 250. So whenever a trade presents itself, these labels will tell me, the stop label especially will tell me at 250 risk, you can afford, at 250 risk and let's say a 40 tick stop loss, you can afford 4 contracts of NQ, or 3 contracts of NQ, whatever it is. So as soon as the signal pop up, I'm alerted. All I have to do is look at this label. All right, 2 contracts. I go back to Quant Hour. Quant Hour is where I execute my trades. I go back to Quant Hour and just buy whatever amount of contracts it says I need, and then I'll just slide my TP targets to wherever the app is telling me to slide my TP target. My TP1 for this example was at 29319, so I execute 4 contracts on the chart and then start sliding my stop losses around on the chart. All right. So yeah, that's your risk amount. You set that to whatever you want. If you want to know how many if you just want to make quick calculations on how many contracts you need per trade. All right, and then as we scroll down some more, these are just some more color settings for your signal labels. You can adjust these colors however you want. All right, and your show quality badge, that's this guy right here. This is a weak quality trade, so it's labeled as weak. So if you don't want to see these badges, then turn that feature off as well. And another useful setting, these are your auto zones. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zones that can be automatically detected on the chart. So no matter what time frame you are on, KLP AI is set up to detect supply and demand zones starting at the 15-minute time frame, the 30-minute time frame, the 1-hour time frame, the 4-hour time frame, and lastly the daily time frame. So you don't need to be on the daily time frame for you to be able to see a daily supply zone drawn on your 5-minute time frame. For instance, let's go back here. This is a supply zone right here, and this is the label says auto SZ, which stands for supply zone, and it says D, which stands for daily. So this supply zone up here was drawn off of the daily time frame, and just so happens to be all-time high as well. So that would be a good area of interest if price, when price eventually gets back up to this area. This would be a good area of interest to look for reversals. All right. I think that's pretty much all the important features that I wanted to go over. I think that was it. Let's scroll back down. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot of features, guys. I mean, this thing is jam-packed with just, volume profiles, supply and demand zones, liquidity ladders, key levels, Ichimoku cloud. I mean, it's a lot, but it's all in one indicator, man. You don't have to have damn 12 indicators here loaded on your chart. I put all the important ones that helps me trade into one indicator, and the best part about it is, for me, the strongest feature for me is the actual signal engine, because it just looks for, it points out the trades that I would normally be looking at these key levels, at R5 or at a supply zone or at value area high or value area low. That's where it's looking for trades at these key levels, and it just makes life easy. And not only that, but that's right. The last thing I wanted to show you was the alerts. Not only that, every time this signal sends an alert, you see the alert pop up here, but that alert is also sent to our servers. We've built a machine learning server that captures every single signal from every user. So it captures my signals, it captures your signals, and it sends it back to our servers, where over time, our machine learning is learning all these signals, is learning their locations, and optimizing these signals as we go along. So the signals will learn from themselves. It'll learn, a couple months from now, is this signal in this location really a weak signal? Or is it a good signal over time? If this signal right here shows to be profitable over time, it'll change from being a weak signal to a good signal. As machine learning gathers all this data that it's, I mean, it's a lot of data that it's gathering when these signals are sent to the servers. It's factoring in where we place our stops, where the app is suggesting a stop is factoring in, is that a tight enough stop? Is that is it too wide? It's over time, it's going to learn what is the most optimal stop, what is the most optimal place to put your TPs, at the most optimal reversal setups and continuation setups. So yeah, that's the most exciting part about it, is just the machine learning aspect of it. Right now the signals have been on fire, and since we went live with it last week, we've been live streaming every single day since last Monday, and last week it was a very, very just going off just every single that it spit out during New York session. We live stream from 15 minutes before New York Open is when we start our stream, and we stream until 11:30 into the morning session for New York Open. And so at least between those hours, man, this thing has been on fire. It's been giving some pretty accurate signals, and very impressive win rate. But we're just going to let it do its thing. We're going to continue to stream. We're going to be back at it tomorrow at the New York Session Open, and hopefully we'll see some of you guys there. But yeah, I'm going to cut this video now and try to upload it, and just so you guys can have something to reference as to what all features are involved in KLP AI. All right. Well, thank you guys for looking at this video, and yeah, hopefully you guys have see the potential that this thing has, and are interested in seeing what it can do. All right. If you are, you can find out more at our website, www.alphaflowtrader.com. And this video will be uploaded to not only YouTube, but our main live stream is normally on YouTube and TikTok as well. But it'll be uploaded to all our social medias. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, and YouTube. So for all our YouTube subscribers, if you want to see more KLP AI content, just like and subscribe, man, and just look out for some more future KLP AI videos coming soon. All right. Thank you, guys. God bless.